Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Young and the Restless, Ashley brutally attacked, Tucker saves the day. In an upcoming episode of Young and the Restless, Ashley Abbott, Eileen Davidson, finds herself in danger in Paris, so a violent altercation leaves viewers wondering if Tucker McCall, Trevor Street John, will be the one to rescue her. The storyline on Young and the Restless takes an unexpected turn. This happens as it is revealed that Alan Laurent, Christopher Cousins, initially considered a villain, has an evil twin brother, Martin Laurent. And Martin is described as a sociopath by his psychiatrist brother. Plus, he tricks Ashley and Tracy Abbott, Beth Maitland, into believing he is Alan. The episode takes a chilling turn, and Martin attacks Ashley. This leads to speculation that Tracy might also be in danger. The storyline on Young and the Restless raises the possibility of Tucker McCall's redemption as Ashley's savior. Devin Hamilton, Bryton James, Tucker's son is one, and other Abbott family members might view him more favorably if he saves Ashley. Also, Josh Griffith's writing receives critical feedback for Abby Newman's, Melissa Ordway, lack of awareness. It all relates to her mother's situation, so the episode ends on a cliffhanger. This leaves viewers in anticipation of whether Tucker will be Ashley's hero, and if this could lead to a possible reconciliation. The early morning sun cast long shadows over Genoa City, but the peace of the dawn was about to be shattered. The Newmans, Abbotts, and the rest of the city's elite were blissfully unaware of the storm brewing in their midst. At the center of it all, as always, was Ashley Abbott. Ashley had always been a formidable force in Genoa City. Her intelligence, beauty, and determination had guided Abbott Cosmetics through countless challenges. Today she was about to face a danger unlike any other. It was just another day at Abbott's headquarters. Ashley was in her office, poring over the latest sales reports, when a sense of unease crept over her. She brushed it off, attributing it to the tension surrounding the recent merger talks with Newman Enterprises. The business world was ruthless, but she had navigated its treacherous waters for years. What she didn't know was that the true threat was far more personal. As she walked to the break room to grab a coffee, she noticed the building seemed eerily quiet. The usual hustle and bustle of her employees had dwindled to a whisper. The hairs on the back of her neck stood on end. Suddenly the lights flickered, and a shadow darted across the hallway. "Who's there?" Ashley called out, her voice steady despite the growing dread in her chest. No answer. She stepped back into her office, her mind racing. Before she could reach for her phone, the door slammed shut behind her. She spun around, coming face to face with a masked assailant. The figure lunged at her, and she barely had time to react. She fought back with all her might, but the attacker was strong, too strong. She felt a sharp pain as a blow landed on her temple, and the room started to spin. Just as she was about to succumb to the darkness, the door burst open. Tucker McCall, her estranged ex-husband and business rival, stood there, a look of pure fury on his face. Without a second thought, he charged at the assailant, tackling them to the ground. The two men grappled, but Tucker's sheer determination gave him the upper hand. He landed a final, decisive punch, knocking the attacker unconscious. Breathing heavily, Tucker turned to Ashley, who was slumped against her desk, blood trickling down her forehead. "Ashley," he said, his voice filled with concern, "are you okay?" Ashley blinked, trying to focus. "Tucker, what are you doing here?" "Saving you, apparently," he replied with a wry smile, helping her to her feet. "We need to get you to a hospital." As they made their way out of the building, Ashley couldn't help but marvel at the turn of events. Tucker McCall, her adversary in both business and personal life, had just saved her. She felt a strange mix of gratitude and confusion. At the hospital, the doctors confirmed that she had a mild concussion, but would recover fully. Tucker stayed by her side, refusing to leave until he knew she was safe. As she lay in the hospital bed, she found herself reflecting on their tumultuous past. Tucker had hurt her deeply, but today he had risked his life for her. It was a lot to process. The police arrived to take their statements. The assailant, now in custody, was revealed to be a disgruntled former employee of Jabbit, seeking revenge for being fired. It was a sobering reminder of the dangers that came with their high-stakes world. As the day turned to night, Tucker finally prepared to leave. "I should go," he said softly, not meeting her eyes. "Wait," Ashley said, surprising even herself. "Thank you, Tucker. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't been there." He looked at her, a mixture of pain and hope in his eyes. "I couldn't let anything happen to you, Ashley. Despite everything, I still care about you." She nodded, unsure of what to say. The complexities of their relationship were too tangled to unravel in a single conversation. "Good night, Tucker." "Good night, Ashley," he replied, and with one last lingering look, he left. In the days that followed, Ashley couldn't stop thinking about Tucker. His unexpected heroism had stirred something in her. She found herself questioning her feelings, wondering if there was a chance for them to rebuild what had been broken. Meanwhile, Tucker was grappling with his own emotions. Saving Ashley had brought back memories of their happier times together, and he realized how much he still loved her. He vowed to make amends, no matter how long it took. Their paths continued to cross, both in the boardroom and beyond. Each encounter was charged with unspoken emotions and unresolved tension. Slowly they began to rebuild a tentative trust. Tucker's actions had proven that he was willing to protect Ashley at all costs, and she couldn't deny the impact it had on her. One evening, as they walked through the park, Ashley finally broke the silence. "Tucker, I've been thinking a lot about what happened, about us." He looked at her, hope flickering in his eyes. "And?" The aroma of fresh coffee permeated the cozy corner cafe in Genoa City, a small oasis where secrets were whispered over steaming cups. Ashley Abbott sat by the window, her mind tangled in the intricate web of family and business. Her piercing blue eyes scanned the morning paper, but her thoughts were miles away, dwelling on the recent turmoil at Jabbit Cosmetics. Her brother Jack was as stubborn as ever, and their clashes over the company's future seemed never-ending. Just as she took a sip of her latte, her phone buzzed with a message. "Meet me at the park. Urgent. T. Tucker McCall." The name alone was enough to make her heart skip a beat. Their past was a roller coaster of passion and betrayal, a whirlwind of emotions that left her breathless. What could be so urgent that he wanted to meet her now? She quickly gathered her things and headed towards Chancellor Park, the cool morning air filling her lungs. The park was a sanctuary, its sprawling greenery and serene ambience offering a brief escape from the chaos of Genoa City. She spotted Tucker standing by the fountain, his tall figure silhouetted against the rising sun. His expression was tense, his usual suave demeanor replaced with something far more serious. "Ashley," he called out, his voice a mix of relief and urgency as she approached. "Thank you for coming." "Tucker, what's going on?" she asked, her concern growing. "You sounded urgent." Before he could respond, a shadow moved swiftly behind Ashley. She barely had time to react as a masked figure lunged at her, shoving her to the ground. Pain shot through her arm as she tried to brace her fall, the world spinning in a chaotic blur. The attacker, dressed in black from head to toe, loomed over her, menacing and silent. Tucker sprang into action, his instincts kicking in. He tackled the assailant, the two men grappling fiercely on the grass. Ashley struggled to her feet, adrenaline coursing through her veins. She watched in shock as Tucker, with a burst of strength, overpowered the attacker, pinning him down. "Call the police," Tucker shouted, his voice strained. Ashley fumbled for her phone, her fingers trembling as she dialed 911. Within minutes, the sound of sirens filled the air, and uniformed officers rushed to the scene. The attacker, now handcuffed and subdued, was led away, his identity still a mystery. "Are you okay?" Tucker asked, his concern evident as he helped Ashley to a nearby bench. "I'm fine, just shaken," she replied, wincing as she held her injured arm. Who was that? And why would anyone attack me? I don't know, Tucker admitted, his brow furrowed in worry. But I promise you, we'll get to the bottom of this. As the police gathered statements and examined the scene, Ashley's mind raced. Who could be behind this attack? Was it someone from her past, or was it connected to the power struggles at Jabot? She glanced at Tucker, who was speaking with an officer, his expression grim. After the police had left, Tucker and Ashley walked slowly through the park, the morning's events weighing heavily on their minds. Thank you, Tucker, Ashley said softly, her gratitude sincere. If you hadn't been there, I wouldn't have let anything happen to you, Ashley. Tucker interrupted, his eyes meeting hers with a fierce protectiveness. You're too important to me. His words hung in the air, charged with unspoken emotions. Their history was complicated, but in this moment, there was a clarity that neither could deny. They continued walking, the silence between them filled with a newfound understanding. Later that day, back at the Abbott mansion, Ashley replayed the attack in her mind. The masked figure, the sudden violence, it all seemed surreal. She needed answers, and she knew that Tucker was the key to uncovering the truth. Despite their tumultuous past, she trusted him in a way she couldn't explain. The next morning, Tucker arrived at the mansion, a determined look on his face. I've been doing some digging, he said, handing Ashley a file. I think I know who might be behind the attack. Ashley opened the file, her eyes scanning the contents. Vincent Lewis, she read aloud. Who is he? He's a former associate of mine, Tucker explained, his tone laced with regret. We had a falling out years ago, and he's been holding a grudge ever since. I think he saw you as a way to get to me. Ashley felt a chill run down her spine. Why would he come after me? Because he knows how much you mean to me, Tucker said, his voice barely above a whisper. And he knows that hurting you would hurt me. The weight of his words settled over Ashley, a mixture of fear and resolve building within her. We need to stop him, she said firmly, before he tries something else.